All right, Brad.
Joseph.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I feel weird not holding mine, but
yeah.
I'll have to get used to it, I guess.
This is a change of pace. I'm also not used to doing a podcast from this angle. I'm used to being from that angle, so
it's a big change for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't tell from watching this video, we're not where we usually are. We're in a different place.
No, we've moved on up.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world. We're now in a basement. We're no longer in a storage unit.
On a second story, so I guess in a way we've moved down, haven't we?
We have moved down. Yeah, I guess literally we've moved down, but figuratively we moved up.
Absolutely. We have air conditioning in here. Can you even?
Yeah, I know. We're not like dripping in sweat right now. It's feeling
Right.
pretty good.
I mean, I am, but the rate is lower than usual.
So Brad, you know, this bug. So Brad,
yes.
You're aware. There's this writers actor strike going on right now.
Correct.
In Hollywood,
it's devastating a bunch of just overall creativity, really.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with us. We didn't.
No, I didn't do fucking
We
shit.
didn't do anything. We're not. Yeah, but you know, it's kind of hard to talk about content right now. So we're not going to talk about movies. We're not going to talk about TV shows.
Yes.
And we thought what a good workaround would be was if we were talking about music. Because people listen to music.
I like to think most, if not all, people listen to music.
Would you watch a video of us talking about music?
I would listen to it.
Okay, that's good enough. Brad, what have you been listening to?
I listen to all kinds of stuff. Lately, my focus has been more into podcasts. Funny enough, my certain level of my genre of podcasts that I'm kind of drawn to lately are like nostalgia rewatches. It's not like I don't go looking for these. It's just kind of what I fell into.
Okay.
So lately I listened to Pod Meets World. So Boy Meets World recap podcast with most of the stars. It's a good time. There's a recap podcast as well for Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up on TikTok.
Yes, I very much enjoy it. It's a silly, fun time. That one I like a lot because they'll only recap the episode for like 4 minutes and then they'll just talk about whatever the fuck else they want.
That's most podcasts. It's like they really talk about the subject and then just talk about everything else except for it. Yeah,
I think this one stands out to me specifically just because I think just compared to all the other ones I listen to, they do it like the least. They're like, yeah, we did that. It was fun. I remember I have this memory of this person. Yeah. Let's talk about the time you did Molly.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. And then what other podcasts do? Oh, I'm a big fan of Nicole Byer. Evidently too. Like she has like 3 podcasts and I listen to all of them, like not religiously, but like there's one she does with Sashir Zameda, who I also find very funny. It's just called Best Friends Podcast. Okay. Because they're best friends. Simple podcast premise. And it's a good time. They're just very silly. She also has Why Won't You Date Me? Which is very funny. That one I'll listen to depending on the guest. It's a lot of like drag queens and stuff, which I'm pro drag queen, but it's just not the entertainment I consume. Yeah. So it's harder for me to be like, oh, that person, I need to hear what they say. Yeah. And then this one's a bit on, I think it's on hiatus a bit more, but it's called Newcomers that she did with Lauren Lapkus, who is also a very funny comedian, improv actress. Every season they would watch a new like something they both have never seen before. Okay. So the first season they did Star Wars, and then they did not Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. Okay. There was one season where they did the Fast movies, like Fast 9 or 8 or whatever, however many at the time. And then there's one more season. I can't remember what it was, but it was something it was in that genre of like films that 2 millennial women probably have not invested in and are going to in their adulthood and be paid for it. Yeah, it's really funny just to hear like for the Star Wars one specifically for me, it was really funny to hear just these sort of newer takes. Just kind of a lot of like, wait, this person fucks, and I'm like, never thought of that, but yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, it's not an image I want to see, but all right. Yeah.
I mean, we did a whole episode on Star Wars last week, and it's in it's always interesting to hear like people who, because you just think everybody knows Star Wars, you know, and so especially us because we're such big experts on it.
Yeah, expertise.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff you've been listening to, Brad. Do you listen to it all at once, or do you listen to them separately?
I guess separately.
I was doing a little joke.
That was a little joke. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, by the time I was halfway through speaking, I was like, he was not serious.
Yeah.
That's a glimpse into my brain. I would say it's, a lot of them release on different days, so that's helpful to kind of space it out.
That was always. I remember when I was in high school, I followed a lot of podcasts, and I would plan my drives to school based on what podcast I was listening to, and so it was like one would be on Monday, one would be a Tuesday drop, and then one would be a Wednesday, and so I had my high school drives like all set up with podcasts.
Yeah, I do something similar. If I have like a trip coming up, I'll kind of just bank them.
Yeah, just stockpile them.
Yeah, just once I got like, if I'm driving for that long, like 5-6 hours of podcasts, or if I have like a couple plane rides to look forward to, it's a good time.
Yeah. Definitely. One of my favorite podcasts. Do you listen to Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast?
I do not, because it was Matt and whom?
Matt and Shane. Shane Gillis. Okay. He's a comedian.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Matt McCusker, also a comedian. They did like a 4-part podcast with Louis C.K. Where they talk about every president.
Like ever?
Yeah, like ever.
Like even the boring ones?
Even the boring ones, especially the boring ones. Yeah, they did like 4 2.5-hour podcasts where they're just talking about presidents, and it's one of my favorite things to listen to.
I would love to hear that, because that sounds super fascinating to me. Did they debunk the Taft rumor of him being stuck in a bathtub?
I don't know if they debunked it, but they definitely talked about it.
I learned recently, or I was told at least recently, I don't know if learning is the best word, but I was told recently that never happened. Oh. And I'm like, that's honestly disappointing, because other than that, what a forgettable person.
Yeah. That's all he's known for, is just being a big
guy. Dude,
Yeah, just getting in a bathtub or something.
It's like he couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
It's like what it would. I'm sure he's done amazing things. I mean, he was elected president more than I was.
Things.
He probably did horrible things too. He was elected president.
You know what I've been listening to a lot, Brad?
What's that?
I've been listening to this band called Cortex.
Cortex? I can't say I've heard of that.
I don't know if they're French, or I don't know if they're like... They speak a different language in their songs, so I feel like worldly when I listen to it. Yeah. Cortex band. I'm looking it up right now.
Is it Cortex like spelled like the actual word cortex?
Cortex. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Scandinavian.
Aye. Okay.
Is this the right band? No, it is French. French jazz funk.
Ah.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous funky.
But do you listen to MF Doom?
Oh yes, I love MF Doom.
Yeah, so you know the song "One Beer"?
Yes.
So the da da da. So that's Cortex.
No shit.
Yeah. So he sampled that.
I love learning shit like that.
And I like that song a lot, and I like the sample, and so I looked into them, and then the album that's off of. It's just really great, like vibing music. It's just
I love that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the first person to like talk about this like publicly or internetly, but yeah, if you just got some work or some shit you gotta get done, or if you're driving but you don't really want to like listen to lyrics or something, they just have such good like vibing, like chill music, and
I love that. I try to look for more of that music, because I have a playlist on my Spotify that's just, I don't even know the name of it, but it's pretty much like songs that don't have singing. But some of them are covers, but some of them are just kind of like weird instrumentals. I heard I have one that I just heard like on the Vegas Strip.
Okay.
And I was just kind of like, oh, this is nice and peaceful. Let me Shazam this really quick, and it actually came up.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very curious about this Cortex. I may have to invest.
Yeah, my favorite one to listen to right now, it's called Trope Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a great vibey song, and it's jazzy and kind of funk. So
that sounds right up my alley.
If you like that, and it sounds like you like that, then
yes.
I'd say definitely give Cortex a listen.
I'm going to actually, because I love a jazzy, funky time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Something I listen to a lot. Oh, I can't recall the last album I've listened to. It's been a while. I used to work in top 40 radio, Joseph, so new music is exhausting to me.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I worked 5 years for a top 40 radio station. It was a great time. It was probably my favorite job I've ever had. But like I said, it was just in terms of like liking popular music, it was very exhausting, because I would hear it on the way to work, on the way from work.
Yeah.
We had station vehicles where we'd it was the preset, so kind of we didn't have to listen to it, but I often would. And then at the events we were driving to, we'd have to set up speakers, play more of that music, whether it was broadcasting the actual station or making up like curated playlists that like my boss made or something. So when it comes to people like Taylor Swift or something, I'm just so uninvested. It's not because I think these people are bland or talentless. It's just I'm exhausted.
Yeah, no.
I've listened to so much of it. I just can't be excited about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday, about pop music especially. Different, like, I don't know how to say this, like, different cultures, I guess, like different people, we'll just say that different cultures of people have different types of pop music that they listen to. Like, a teenage white girl is going to listen to, like, a different sort of pop music than like an adult black guy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think top radio, at least nowadays, is kind of a mixture of all of that.
Yeah.
Because the station I worked for at least was top 40, but it was a lot of like, the sort of pop, like, the Taylor Swift types.
And that's what I envision when I think of pop, is like Taylor Swift, like Shawn Mendes, like
we played all of those guys. Yeah. But then we would also play who's a rapper that blew up in that time?
Like Drake?
Definitely a lot of Drake.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of Drake. Kanye, when it was okay.
Yeah. I guess, do radio still play Kanye? I don't listen to the radio
anymore. Actually do.
Yeah.
The only song I ever hear on the radio by Kanye nowadays is pretty much Stronger and Gold Digger.
Yeah.
So it's like way before the anti-Semitism was
those songs
showing.
I feel like were always on the radio. Like, I just feel like those songs have just consistently been on the radio.
100%. Yeah, they would be noticeably absent, I think, if you just kind of took them all off. But at the same time, new music is made every day, so it's interesting.
Joseph, this is a note for you to cut
all this shit out.
Cut this. This is my reminder to cut this. Okay, well, if you want another jazzy funk group, I could recommend, or maybe you've heard of. I have actually a few. I like listening to a lot of like lyricless music. I used to love listening to lyrics because I love to just sing along to them. But now that I'm an adult and I'm serious, I like to listen to songs that just sound good. Mm-hmm. And so I'll listen to a lot of Bad Bad Not Good. Do you listen to them?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Very just like kind of jazzy funk. Those sort of...
Did you get them finally?
Yeah, I got them.
Nice.
They actually did a song with MF Doom. That's not how I found out about them, but I really enjoy that song. It's called The Chocolate Conquistador.
Ooh.
Very kind of funk, and there's like a small little Doom, like kind of interjections throughout the song.
I love that. I remember I was very late to the MF Doom era.
Yeah.
I heard him, like, the first time I ever heard MF Doom and like clocked it, like, oh, this is really good. I want to learn who this is and listen to more of their music.
Yeah.
He died a week later.
Oh, you didn't learn until Doom until 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Yeah, how embarrassing.
That's crazy.
I've heard like his name mentioned and stuff, and like after going and listening to his stuff, I was like, oh, I've heard this just in out and about randomly.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on top 40 necessarily.
No,
at least where we grew up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was devastated to learn he died. He died. So I hear his music.
Yeah.
He dies, but they don't announce his death until like the following.
until the end of the year.
I believe it was New Year's Eve.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe it was. No, I think he died on Halloween.
He died on Halloween. They announced it on New Year's Eve. Yeah.
And I was devastated because I looked at the timeline and went, "Oh, it was a week after
whole time I thought he was alive."
A week after I first heard Rap Snitch Knishes,
yeah,
I fucking murdered him.
Damn.
Although
R.I.P. Doom.
I kind of did a similar thing to Wes Craven, honestly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Do you remember the film Cursed?
I haven't seen that one.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
Christina Ricci, Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay.
Right before Jesse Eisenberg really blew up.
Yeah.
Directed by Wes Craven. I watched it one night on HBO. I think it was HBO Go at the time.
Yeah.
And the next day he died.
Ooh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Wes Craven.
Yeah. I was. I don't take credit for it, but it's hard for me not to feel guilty about it.
He had it coming, you know. The amount of children he probably terrified.
The amount of trauma that man inflicted.
Yeah, he had it coming. But still, R.I.P. Wes Craven.
Yes, we love you, Wes.
Yeah. But yeah.
When did you first hear of MF Doom?
I think I found out about Doom when I was maybe in high school. I was,
I had such, like, I wasn't ignorant to music in high school. I just didn't invest in, like, albums and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was, like, around my senior year of high school is when I actually started, like, downloading music for, like, myself.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, oh, my brother or my mom downloaded this for their, like, car CD, so I'll just take that file and make my own car CD or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of artists that I like now who back in high school it was way more cooler to know them then. Like Mac Miller was one of those artists I was really late to. Like he was at least 5 years gone by the time I first listened to Kids. And I was like, man, this album is perfect. It was devastating.
Yeah, I guess similar to the Doom thing, where I had always known about him, but I never listened to his music. Mm-hmm. But then when Swimming came out, I really liked that album. And then I think he died like maybe, what was it, like a month after that album came out or something?
I believe that sounds right.
Very soon after the album came out, he died.
Yeah, Swimming's one of the... I didn't listen to all of his albums, but Swimming was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. I felt like such a clown afterwards. I was like, oh, he was so talented.
Yeah. It does kind of suck. Poor guy.
Poor guy, but... Are you a vinyl person? Do you have vinyl records?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think people think that I give off the energy of a guy who would listen to vinyls.
I don't get that vibe.
Okay.
Considering what you've told me about your music taste since we started with the jazzy stuff, I guess that would maybe contribute to that idea a bit more. But no, to me, I don't know. It's not one of those things I could look at someone and go, they definitely collect vinyl. It's more of like I don't even know if I would look at me and go, they definitely do.
Okay. Do you?
I definitely
do. Okay, yeah.
But I think most people discriminate towards me with that idea just because I have a beard.
Yeah. I was gonna say, that's why because it's a very hipstery, sort of like, like indie alt guy, and like I'm like a movie guy, and I'm like I don't know, I wear button ups and sneakers, so I feel like people will look at me and be like, oh yeah, he's definitely obnoxious.
See, I'm very easily identified. Like, you can look at me and go, that's an obnoxious person. So I feel you. I'm
obnoxious about, just not about vinyls. I don't care about vinyls.
Totally cool. I have vinyls and I'm not obnoxious about it at all. Like, I have friends who started much later than me, and they're like, they know all about like the different presses. Here's the press number, and this is a re-release. They have like a whole Discogs account, which is where you can catalog all your stuff like down to that very small detail of like when it was not, I don't know when it was pressed, but like which batch of presses it was. Plus I think on that website you can like buy and sell and trade and stuff, which is interesting. But yeah, it's a hobby of mine. I collect things in general though, so it's not like one of my bleeding heart passions. Like I own every album that I've ever wanted on vinyl, but it's maybe 30. Like it's not an overwhelming collection. It only looks overwhelming because I have combined my mom's vinyl collection, my dad's vinyl collection, and then I've picked up maybe 10 records that are from around that era that I like that they just happen to not own. Because I also collect. I have a lot of Blu-rays, and DVDs
you seem
and
like
stuff.
A collector to me.
I'm very much a collector, and I have friends who are also collectors. Because I have Blu-rays. I'm an adult man who has a lot of Legos, admittedly. But I'm.
Do you do the Funkos?
I'm not a big Funko person. My friends are not really into it either, which I'm kind of thankful for. I kind of feel bad because I've gotten like Funkos for gifts in the past, and I'm like,
same.
Oh, you weren't wrong to assume this is my vibe, but this is now the only Funko I ever owned. So now I feel either obligated to get rid of it or start a collection.
It is a weird thing because with Funkos, I think where it's like taken too far is like then like you have to spend a whole lot of money on Funkos, and once you get one, you're like, well, I get the black suit Spider-Man, but I want to get the red Spider-Man,
Right.
and I got to get some villains, and then I got to get some of the other Avengers, and so it just becomes a bigger project, and it looks like it costs so much money, and
it's a very slippery slope. Now,
I feel like once you get one, then like you have to, really check your bank account.
Yeah, I will admit I own like 4 or 5, but admittedly they're pretty much like Christmas and Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
Like I don't like keep them out 365. They're in a tote that I keep like my little Christmas tree in.
Yeah. Yeah, I have one, and I didn't even take it out of the box. It's just sitting on my nightstand, and I'm like, well, that still looks good, right?
Yeah, probably. Some of the ones I bought too don't necessarily look like Funkos either. Like they don't have those fucking crazy black eyes. They've got like I own one that's like the little plant from Little Shop of Horrors, and it's just like in a little coffee can, no eyes or anything. It's cute, I think. And then I own another one that's it's a moon person, MTV Movie Award or VMA.
Okay.
And I think it's really cute because it's just this little tiny little fake trophy I didn't win.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, mine's just Sean Connery, James Bond.
Oh yeah, friend, one of my friends he's got a shitload of Funkos, but he's got all the Bond ones.
Okay.
So he's got Connery and Roger Moore, and I think the only one they did not make was Timothy Dalton.
Really?
If I recall correctly.
That's funny. I watched A View to a Kill last night.
Isn't the theme song like top 5?
Yeah. It is a great theme song.
Yeah, and I'm like, Duran Duran, okay.
Yeah. Way better than the last 2. We're getting back to music now.
This is still music.
Yeah. The last 2, the Billie Eilish one and the Sam Smith one, I hate both of those songs.
I can't help but think that they're the same song.
Yeah,
honestly.
The Sam Smith one I like a touch more just because there is kind of a melodic flow to it. The Billie Eilish one, I've listened to it once when I saw the movie, and I was like, this isn't a memorable song.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. They're both, like I said, to me, they just sound very similar.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, Billie Eilish copied off of Sam Smith or anything. It's not...
Yeah.
I'm not that committed to it. It's just, to me, there's no... I guess maybe it's just not a drastic change from Sam Smith's. Maybe that's the thing I have a bigger beef with.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, how do you go from... Those Daniel Craig films are just so serious. Like, how do you do a hype, fast-paced song besides... well, no, I guess they did Chris Cornell in the first...
The Chris Cornell one was great.
That's a great fucking song.
Who was the second one? It was Jack White and someone... I don't remember who the vocalist was. She is famous. I'll think of it.
I've told you in the past off camera that that's of the Craig films, that's one I've revisited the least. So I truly don't recall.
And I told you it was my second favorite.
Yes, and I found that very interesting, and it gave me like a next time I go to watch it, I'll keep an open mind kind of vibe. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Bond song?
Oh gosh. I think I have to go with Live and Let Die because
I was going to say that's the one I listen to the most.
It's my favorite Bond movie, so I think that just kind of solidifies like these are my favorite thing. This is my favorite Bond thing, like period. But if I had to give like a top 5, it would definitely be Live and Let Die, A View to a Kill.
Wait, did I say I watched A View to a Kill last night?
Did you? I think you did.
I didn't watch A View to a Kill. I watched the Aha song.
Oh, Aha. Which one did Aha do?
Da, 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 da. I
don't remember that Aha one. Was it? Who was the Bond?
Timothy Dalton. That's why I brought it up.
Okay, License to... Or A View to a Kill is Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Okay, there's... Gladys Knight did a License to Kill.
Up way too high. Living's in the...
The Living Daylights?
The Living Daylights. Okay, that's it,
yeah. Okay, that makes way more sense. And now we're copyright flags.
Yeah,
damn it.
I did too good of an impression of okay, you were ranking your Bond songs.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
A View to a Kill.
Yeah.
License to Kill. Gladys Knight.
Okay, that's a great one.
Chris Cornell's probably... Yeah. It's definitely up there.
That's a great one, too.
Yeah, it's just a great song in general. Yeah. So for it to be a Bond song is like double honor.
Was it Alicia Keys who did the Quantum song?
I think so.
I think it was Alicia Keys,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Do you like Skyfall? I know that's like everybody's favorite.
I liked it. If I had to rank it, it'd probably be somewhere between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Or 6 and 10 more so. Because I think my fifth one, I don't know if I said a fourth. I'll just say my fifth one. I'd probably land on GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's like Chris Cornell's 4, so we'll do GoldenEye for 5.
Okay. I was never crazy about GoldenEye.
I think for me, it's more just like that's the first Bond movie I really ever watched.
Okay.
Plus, I played the absolute crap out of the video game as a child.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, it's kind of like the view. It's kind of like the license, or God, it's hard to keep them all straight. There's fucking 50 of them. It's like my Live and Let Die thing, where I like the soundtrack and the movies.
Yeah.
So,
you know which one I like a lot is "You Only Live Twice."
I don't remember the song for that.
You only live twice. Or
I believe
it. Yeah.
Sounds like it would be the theme song for You Only Live Twice.
Yeah. I think that was Nancy Sinatra.
Ooh, that sounds right. I remember.
Or she did a different one maybe, but I think that was Nancy Sinatra. Yeah.
It could be. I know I like Goldfinger. Goldfinger's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's just like old school because it's a very old movie, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, Goldfinger, that's like the staple for Bond is like that's.
I would say so.
Yeah, that's like. I think when you think of like a Bond movie, like Goldfinger is like it has the car, it has the suits, it has the gun, it has the villain.
It's got 2 of the probably top 10, maybe 20 villains. Yeah. Goldfinger and Oddjob. Pussy Galore.
Pussy Galore. Like it's like the villain, like the female like sexual innuendo name, like. Yeah, that's a movie that I think really started all like the trends. Absolutely, yeah. It wasn't. It's like it was a bit more of a launch pad compared to like Dr. No. It's like it starts with Dr. No, but like at that point it was just a movie based on a book. Yeah, yeah. Dr. No was fine. From Russia with Love was good, but I think it's just not crazy interesting. So that's how I feel about it too. Yeah, Goldfinger rather was the one that really like kicked it off, and then. Fucking the one after that, Thunderball. Yeah, Thunderball. I hated Thunderball. Twice. I don't even think I've ever finished Thunderball. I remember Thunderball. I feel like a lot of those older ones, I was like, these are freaking long. Yeah. I thought these would be shorter because they're from the 60s. Thunderball is so long, and there's so much just like guys swimming underwater, and you can't really tell what's going on. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's Thunderball. I never loved it, and that's why I never saw Never Say Never Again, because it's just a remake of Thunderball. I don't even like this movie. Why am I going to watch a remake of it? Watch it again. Why am I going to watch it again when the main guy is like 60? He's like 20 years older. It's a very fair point. Yeah. I own Never Say Never Again, but I have yet to watch it. Yeah. I think it'd be a fun I don't know if it's like I like the idea of like a drunk movie watch, and then I never pursue that. Yeah. My favorite of the Connerys is Diamonds Are Forever, and I've seen people on the internet say like that's their least favorite, and I'm like, it's such a fun movie though. I was gonna say I can't say I've heard that from anyone else. Usually the Connerys are usually say Goldfinger. Honestly, in my experience, I don't know a lot of people who've seen all the Bond movies. Okay, yeah. But the friends I do know that have seen them, that usually would probably lean towards Goldfinger. Yeah, just from what I've seen in the message boards and stuff, is like people are not big fans because it changed up. Like it was, it's like Bond in Vegas, and it kind of changes a lot of like the Bond stuff. It's not like a departure necessarily. It's just kind of like a. It's just not like, I guess it's not what you're used to with Bond. Exactly. So, it's not even, I don't want to say it's a departure or like a tonal change. It's just kind of like, we're just going to kind of speed this up in terms of like modernity and seriousness. Yeah. Yeah. I think my only real criticism with it is that it's supposedly like Blofeld killed Bond's wife, and then now he goes on this silly adventure. It doesn't strike me as like, this guy's wife just died, and now he's going on like a revenge mission, Right, yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, better go to Vegas. Yeah. But it's still fun. Like, find me a new one. Outside of like the, the wife thing, it's like, it's a really fun movie, and that's why I like it. But yeah, I think had, what's his name? Lazenby came back, it probably would have been a very different movie. Oh, 100%. That guy is... Yeah. Did you watch the Lazenby documentary? I was about to ask you the same question. Yeah. I did. That dude is
iconic, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, who decides I'm going to be the lead actor in a major film franchise that already exists, that already has that actor, get it, and then
just turn it.
No, I've done it already. I
don't want to do this anymore. Yeah.
Insane. I watched that documentary when I was like 20, and I was just kind of like, anything is possible.
Yeah. He was and it's like so funny because it's like he's sort of bragging, but it's also like some of the stuff he likes bragging about is kind of pathetic. It's like, oh yeah, like me and my roommate were like tripping off drugs and having a threesome with some chick, and I was just, I don't know. He's such an interesting guy.
That's the thing. That was my biggest takeaway from this. I'm like, this didn't happen because of some like Hollywood drama or anything. This is just one of the most interesting people to walk the planet.
Yeah, he just didn't want to shave his beard, and so he like turned down being Bond.
Yeah,
I think that was like the big thing was he didn't want to shave his beard.
I believe so. That does sound very familiar. I mean, not that I've ever been offered, but I would consider it if I were gonna be James Bond. Maybe I don't see why I ever would be James Bond.
Yeah,
but if that were the only stipulation, I would consider it.
Yeah, he didn't have too much of a career outside. I don't think
he acted again, really.
Yeah.
Or if he did, it was like much smaller scale.
I know he became like independently wealthy. Like he, I think he like sells real estate or something in Australia, and he's just kind of become famous as like the Bond guy, but also he like owns businesses or whatever.
That's so funny to me. He's like,
and he goes to conventions, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure he's a big convention person. I feel like actors like that can usually make the majority of their income at cons.
Yeah. I heard Jim Jeffries tell a story, because I guess Jim Jeffries had a sitcom, and he cast George Lazenby to be his dad.
I remember hearing about that, yeah.
He said that he would tell stories about like all the Bond girls he's fucked, but he was just like, yeah, but you fucked them like past their prime. Like, you fucked them in like a Holiday Inn, like...
I fucked Ursula Andress in 1994.
Yeah. But yeah, good for Lazenby. He made something of himself.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100% respect to that dude. It's just you meet people that just are incredibly bold and are maybe even a bit delusional, and then you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, good luck with that, and assume they're never going to achieve the thing they want, and then people like him exist, and it's kind of like, man, maybe I'm the problem. Yeah, just dismissing crazy ideas.
Yeah. All right, we've been going for 32 minutes. Do you want to just end there?
I think we could end there. That was a fun,
just like catch up episode. This is
a little catch up, a little dish, a little get to know each other.
Yeah,
I love it.
Look at that. We'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you.
Peace.